Hey, it's Annette. I am super excited to bring you the Wealth Lab, Building Your Implementable Profit Plan workshop series here for Annette Ferguson YouTube channel. My sole purpose of starting this series is to help you implement the profit plan, price your offerings, and manage your finances properly. If you feel like this series is not for you, feel free to just skip ahead on this episode. For the full experience, however, of the workshop, do make sure that you join the group where I will be hosting it. Go to Facebook and search Uncover Wealth Community. Make sure you answer the questions and come on in. Talk soon. Hello, everyone. Welcome to session 3 of the Wealth Lab, Building Your Implementable Profit Plan. I am excited to be back for another session today. This session, like the others, is packed full of information that you need to know to build your profit plan, to start on those steps of the ladder, to start on skyrocketing your profit. So first off, I would love if you want to share with me one key thing that you want the world to know about your business. Tell us in the comments. Now, you might not be telling the world, but you're telling a little part of the world. So do let us know one key thing that you want the world to know about your business. Let me know in the comments. I would love to hear what that is. So the profit plan, like I said, is step 1 on skyrocketing your profit. And the really interesting thing about this is that in part, the profit plan links into what is very, very traditionally done in a corporate setting. We find every so often that there are things that happen in corporate that don't often make their way into entrepreneur land, but they really should make their way into entrepreneur land because they are solid, tried, and tested business methods. And in a corporate, you prepare annual budgets, you prepare departmental budgets, you prepare quarterly budgets, monthly budgets, in some cases, weekly budgets. And if you do not hit that annual budget, if you do not hit that forecast, the market will go crazy. Your share price will react very negatively because of the belief, which is a true belief, that businesses should be able to predict their profit month on month and be able to hit it. But of course, the only way we can do that is if we understand the numbers and the data in our business and we do actually produce a budget, aka a profit plan, a forecast, and we actually make sure that we know what is going to happen in our business. So this is a little piece of what corporates do day in, day out as well, in terms of really being able to pinpoint exactly the profit that they are making each and every month. And you can as a business owner as well. This is not exclusively for corporate land. This very much needs to be ingrained in entrepreneur land as well. Illa, thank you for joining me. Thank you for tuning in. Hello. Ronald, I appreciate that. Thank you very much. Good afternoon, Scott. I hope you are well today. I can also see Facebook user for a lot of other people. So let's see if I can pull up this on my phone too, because I can see lots of comments. Here we go. Hello, Magnolia. Thank you so much. Hello, Jackie. Lovely to have you on. Justine, lovely to see you. Thank you, everyone. I appreciate that as well. So, what I want to reiterate as well is if you've not already got the workbook, do make sure that you connect with my team. they will be able to give you a copy of the workbook. The workbook has screenshots and questions and all the things that we are working through in this session today. I even have clients who, weeks and months after we run our profit plan sessions, still come to our calls with their workbook printed out, and they refer to things in the workbook. So it's a massively important part of building your profit plan this week and going through the exercises and the work that we're going to do together. So if you do not have your workbook already, please do let us know in the comments, and one of my team will get on it and get that straight over to you as well. I can already see that Magnolia is very active in the comments there today, so do let me know. There she goes. There we go. So yeah, absolutely. Eloisa, Jan, or Magnolia will all be able to help you get the workbook. So do make sure that you mention that in the comments if that is an issue for you. So what have we covered so far? Well, remember the 7 stages of the profit plan: vision, money leaks, revenue, owner's pay, team, profit, and implementation strategy. So far, we have looked at the vision and the money leaks. And today we're going to look at the revenue side of things, and we're also going to touch on team. So we're kind of jumping over the owner's pay one there in the sequence, but we're also going to touch on that today. So on session 1, we looked at, what would it mean to you to be financially free? What would that feel like, that entrepreneurial, that lifestyle freedom? We started thinking about those think, see, do, and feels, and what that is for you now, and also what it needs to be in the future, and thinking about starting to bridge that gap between the two as well, thinking about our ideal day and what our day looks like at the moment as well. Of course, setting aside the fact that some of us may have slightly skewed days just now as well, if you're homeschooling and all those kinds of things too. We gave a back of the envelope calculation on, okay, what do you need your revenue to be for the level of take home that you want to have as well? And I kind of put some questions to you to mull on as well. Can you still offer the same programs and services that you are now? Can you still charge the same prices as you do? And can you still serve the same audience as you do now as well? Some things to think over as well. And then in session 2, we spoke all about plugging money leaks. Remember, money leaks are spending that is not either 100% necessary to keep the proverbial lights on, nor does it deliver you a positive return in terms of money or in terms of time. So I spoke you through exactly how to do that money leaks exercise, and I hope that some of you have managed to go away and do that, because it is a game changer for many, and it usually, for most people, solves the problem of, where is my money going? You get to see straight away when you do that exercise. We also touched on debt, the debt snowball, the debt avalanche method, and if you have debt, what you might be doing to do that. And then we started to build out that profit plan in your spreadsheet itself, or on paper if you want to do it on paper. It does not have to be digital. You can do it wherever you like. But I had a screenshot there in the workbook as well on page 20 of what your your profit plan will begin to look like as well. And today we're speaking about the power levers to drive revenue. Now, if you're looking for replays of the sessions that have already happened, if you are catching up, that's no problem. You can still watch this session. You'll still get lots of value, but do make sure you watch sessions 1 and 2 as well. You can find them from a couple of places. The easiest and best thing to do is connect with your concierge. Your concierge will either be Eloisa, Jan, or Magnolia. They should already be in your DM at some place. So either in your standard DM inbox or your other inbox in Facebook. So do check there, because the best way to get the replays is just pop them a note saying that you need the replays. They have access to give you links to the replay page. We have something set up for you to make it really, really simple to catch up on the replays. So do connect with them and you'll be able to do that there as well. The replays will be available until Tuesday, the 28th at around 8 p.m. is when we'll take those down. So the replays will be available for a little while, but we will be taking them down. They will not be available indefinitely. We want people to get this up and running. We don't want you to procrastinate on it, because it is the foundation, the bedrock of building a profitable business. So there is really nothing to be gained from putting it off. So we want you to get it in place as soon as you can in your business, because we so firmly believe that this is a massive, massive part of running a financially healthy business, of ensuring your financial upgrade, and of skyrocketing your profitability as well. Now, whilst I'm kind of going through these things as well, I want to share with you that I am going to be hosting some bonus sessions as well. So we are going to actually be extending our sessions beyond Friday. So Saturday, Sunday, Monday, and Tuesday, I will be hosting bonus sessions for you as well. Same time, same place, but we're going to put on some extra bonuses for you. So do make sure you pop them in your diaries as well as the sessions on Thursday and Friday, which of course are still happening as well. So I would love to know in the comments, what is your key takeaway from session 2? Let me know what your key takeaway from session 2 has been, or even session 1, from both sessions that you have watched and tuned into so far. Let me know what your key takeaways have been. I would love to know your key takeaways. So let me know in the comments, so that I can see what those were as well. It is so much fun and such an honor for me to support and serve you and have you join me over these sessions so that you can build your profit plan. So I really, really appreciate you joining me. And I love helping you do this as well. So like I said, today we are covering the power levers to drive revenue. And I want you to show up today, to step into your power as a CEO, to make lots of notes as always, and turn off distractions wherever you possibly can. Use this session to support your profit goals. Many of you said yesterday that yes, you want to skyrocket your profit. Well, let's focus on that today. And remember too, that where you are today is in no way a reflection of what is possible for you and your business. All it is a line in the sand where you decide that today is the day that you are going to focus on profit. So do let me know any key takeaways that you had from the previous sessions. I would love to do that. Let's have a look. Elliot's saying, need to do this badly. Thought about money yesterday, and it's not just revenue and accounting profit. Eye opener. I love it. Can I repost the question here? Is that the question of what's your key takeaway? I'm not sure which question it was that I debt repayment snowball method was key takeaway. Nice, Justina. Thank you. Go through money leaks a few times. Every time more of the costs are unnecessary. Yeah, that's a really, really important thing, Justina, actually, that I didn't mention, was that I would highly recommend that you do review money leaks on a quarterly basis, because things morph and change in our business. This is an exercise that you should be diarizing and doing regularly, because as things change, certain things are no longer delivering you a return, and certain things may actually become no longer 100% necessary, or some things might fall into that bucket now. So yes, absolutely. Great point, Justina. It's a really, really important thing to actually do that money leaks exercise in particular on a regular basis. So thank you for that. I appreciate that, Justina. Cutting spending for financial freedom. Absolutely. It is one of the key tools towards financial freedom as well, for sure. When I actually wrote down the suppliers, it made a difference to whether I really needed them. Yeah, absolutely. When I've thought about this in the past, I was sure I would need them all, but writing them down makes me think, do I really need them? Absolutely. I did the same. The first time I sat down and did this myself, I assumed that all those pieces of tech and all the stuff I had was so, so important. But when I actually said to myself, is this 100% necessary? Because if it is not, it is a money leak. And if it's a money leak, it's taking money from me and my family. When I actually came to that realization, that is when I went, whoa, hang on. There is stuff here that is not delivering me a return, and it is not 100% necessary. What am I doing with it? What's the purpose? So yeah, great realization. Scott says, after years of thinking about putting profit first in place, it feels great to finally be taking action. I appreciate that so much, Scott. That is awesome. That's a great realization. And Ronald has been able to know the meaning of financial freedom and examining money leaks on a regular basis as a top takeaway. Thank you for sharing that, Ronald. That is awesome. Some great aha moments and realizations there from the session. So I do massively appreciate you sharing that with me as well. So like I said, today we're going to do power levers to drive revenue. We're going to cover two aspects actually, because we're going to cover team as well as revenue on today's session too. So the first bit I want to cover off then is the team side of things, because team should ideally have the ability to drive revenue. So that's why I'm including them as part of today's session around driving revenue in your business as well. Because the goal for team members is that they have a bottom line positive impact on your business. What that means is that they are able to impact the profitability. They are able to have a positive impact on the profitability. If you take on a team member, what can they do to impact either revenue or reduce costs so that they more than pay for themselves and they impact the bottom line? Because when your team members are able to do that, it means that you can add more and more, because each team member has a positive impact on profitability. Okay, so this is how you actually start to scale and grow, utilizing your team as well at the same time. So you want to really assess each team member and whether they can impact the bottom line. Now, I'm going to caveat what I mean by team member. By team member, I mean any individual who is working with your business. So they could be full-time employees or part-time employees, but they might be contractors, freelancers. They could be a virtual assistant. They could be a designer, somebody editing your videos. Whatever their role is, if they are working with you and supporting your business, they need to be able to have ideally an impact on revenue, but if that's not possible for the type of role that they have, a bottom line impact. So what I want you to do is actually go through each of the team members that you have in your business. By the way, that includes business coaches and mentors and all those things as well. So do write down the names of the individuals that you use to support your business and what is their current bottom line impact. What is that? Now, for some, it can be quite tricky to measure, but give it a go, because it's really important to understand that they do have an impact on the bottom line, because they need to be more than paying for themselves in terms of their salary, their invoicing, their wages, whatever that is, so that you can take on more team. And once you have a look at that bottom line positive impact, ask yourself, is there anything I can do to increase that? Can I look at their role and structure it in a way that has even more of an impact on the bottom line than their role currently does? And if you have people at the moment who have no ability to impact the bottom line, then what can you do to their role to tweak some of the things they do so they do have it? So let's say you've got somebody answering your phones for you. Are they able to close sales or not? Are they able to get referrals or not? Like, what can they start doing so that they can impact the bottom line positively in your business? And ideally, you want to have for any role that has the ability to drive sales in some way, whether that's referrals, whether that's new sales, whatever that is, you want them to ideally have a 4 times their salary impact on your business. Okay. Bottom line impact can be less than that, obviously, because you have some costs, but you really want to get close to as 4x as you possibly can. Okay. So that's often a little bit of a moment for people as well. So let me just check the comments that we have here so that I make sure that I'm seeing everyone's questions and comments as well. Jason is saying, I have been brought into another business to build up and create a sellable asset in 5 years. What percentage would you put aside for marketing? Jason, I will cover percentages. When is that? Let me just have a check. I think it's tomorrow, or it might be Friday. Tomorrow we'll be speaking about percentage allocations and those things as part of what I'm speaking about tomorrow. So hold that thought, and I will cover that off tomorrow and speak through that tomorrow as well. So I want you now to revisit what we spoke about before. So can you still offer the same programs and services that you offer now? Number two, can you still charge the same prices you are now? And number three, can you still serve the same audience that you are now? So as we're working through this revenue part of today, I want you to keep those thoughts in your head as we are going through that and working it through. So what I have in the workbook on page 25 is I've got a table for you to complete. And that is a table to basically fill in what your current products, services, programs, and offerings are. Having a look at that, and what's the price point that you sell it at? Typically, how many do you sell a month? And therefore, what is your monthly revenue from each of your products, programs, or services? You should be able to get this data perhaps from your bookkeeping software, or perhaps from a project management tool that will tell you what the quantities are and the average spend, if you don't have kind of set things that everyone does. So have a look and pull out the data, writing down, perhaps bucketing stuff if you need to, if you have, I'm thinking of Scott on here who'd have domestic customers and then building customers. You might want to separate those out. It's probably a good idea to look at the two separately and examine that. But getting down on paper what the current situation is when it comes to your revenue streams, your pricing, your quantity, etc. Now, whilst I am speaking about this, I want to share with you a rough rule of thumb that I generally say to people, because particularly with newer business owners, people often think that they have to have tons and tons of revenue streams in their business in order for it to be a good business. We hear this kind of, well, millionaires have got 7 streams of income, etc. Okay, and people think, oh, I need to have 7 products in my business. The thing is that these sort of, guru millionaires that people are talking about with their 7 streams of income, one income stream is business. Then they might have investments, property, etc. So don't think that your business needs to have all these different revenue streams, and that's how you get to a millionaire. It is actually more likely that a business will hit a higher revenue figure if you have fewer streams of revenue, because you have laser focus and you are able to be very clear on the message, and you are able to be very clear on what you sell. So what I say to people is that ideally you do not want to have, you do not want to be introducing more revenue streams until your first revenue stream in your business is getting to, at the absolute minimum, around 100K revenue a year. That's a really minimum. That's like, do not go below this, do not pass go, do not collect £200. This is, ideally you want to be closer to about 250,000. And there's various reasons for that. One is that once you get to that higher revenue level, you have a lot clearer understanding of the automations that you need to put in place, the team that you need to support them, how the marketing and the funnels work. You have a lot clearer on the operational delivery and the requirements for that. You are a lot clearer on the profitability of that program and service and what needs to happen with that as well. So I highly recommend that if you have a ton of revenue streams just now, that you really pull back. Excuse me, I'm just gonna take some water. That you really pull back on that as much as you possibly can, so that you can focus on one till it gets to ideally the 250,000 stage, and then you can focus on the next one because you've brought team in to support the first one. Okay, so I want to kind of caveat that when you are thinking about all the products and services that you might offer just now, the goal is not to have lots. The goal is actually to have fewer and be generating more revenue from them. So as I said, I've got that box that has the kind of current revenue. And then I want you to have a think about, okay, what revenue do I want? What revenue do I need based on what we did on day one in the, okay, if I want my take home to be this, I need to double it to get my revenue. Okay, what revenue do you need? What quantities do you need to be selling? And what does that look like for you as well? Okay. So making sure that you understand that. Oh, I've got a small child who's just interrupted as well. Sorry about that. That's lovely, my darling. Can you go steady? Thank you. Can you close the door, my darling? Please, thank you. Sorry, just small child. It's the beauty, of course, of homeschooling and all those things just now. So what was I saying? Oh yes. So have a look at that grid then on page 26 of the workbook, which is basically, okay, based on what I am saying for my take home, this is the revenue that I need, and therefore what quantities do you need to be selling each month in order to support that? And have a look at that, because when you start then coming back to that question of, can you still offer the same products, programs, and services as you are now? Can you still charge the same price as you are now? You might look at, okay, this is what I need to do, and go, oh, okay, that doesn't work. I can't serve 7,000 people in my business. I'm not willing to do that. That's not what I want to do. And so that's why we need to keep this in mind as we're doing this part of it, so that stuff doesn't fall over as well. Let's see if we've got any questions that I just need to catch up on. Ilya saying, is that 4x salary? Yes, it is. Ilya, it is 4x salary. How do you do this for an e-commerce online business that is just sales? Not sure the exact question, Ella, in terms of how do you do this for an e-commerce business? It's just sales, because for an e-commerce business, you got product purchase. And then are you asking whether you have team members or not? I'm not sure. If you can buff out that question a little bit more, because I'm not sure at what point you asked it, so I'm not quite sure what it's referring to. So if you can let me know on that, then what bit you're referring to, and then I can answer it better. Apologies on that. So once you understand what is needed, you then need to understand the methods of selling that you're going to be taking to do that. So what is your strategy to sell? When are you promoting certain things? When are you launching certain things? These all need to be diarized for the next 12 months, because if they are not, they won't happen. And if they don't happen, you don't hit your profit plan. And if your profit plan is not linked to your promo and launch diary, then all the bits fall apart. So you need to make sure that you're clear on what you promo when, what you're launching when, what that looks like for you if you're running ads, if you're getting, if you're using affiliates, if you're using influencers, whatever those might be, you need to get some clarity around that so that you can ensure that all the pieces of the puzzle start slotting together as well. So getting clear on then the methods of selling, the strategy of selling, the dates of promos and launches over the next year, so that you can understand how those then will slot in to the profit plan when we add the numbers in. Because if you don't know those things, you won't know where to put the numbers. You won't have a place to put them. They'll just be, oh, okay, I'll just chuck them anywhere. So we need to be clear on that to be able to put them in. Okay, I hope that makes sense. Let's see. There are three of us in our online business. Goods are purchased and sold. Do we base this on the sales value or the goods purchased? If you're speaking about the 4xing the revenue, then that's going to be on sales. You'll base it on the sales. So each of you should be able to, sell at least 4x what your salary is in terms of sales when it comes to the team. This is in relation to the team, by the way. This is not in relation to the business owner, Illa. So just to be clear on that, the owner's pay is done as a percentage of revenue. So what I'm speaking about here is your actual team members on that side. Melissa is saying, as a magazine, I am expanding revenue streams as advertising is unreliable right now, and there is a limit on revenue small business. Is there a limit on the revenue small businesses should have? Is there a limit on the revenue a small business should have? Do you mean, is there a maximum revenue that a small business would have? I'm not sure if that's your question, Melissa. If that is your question, then I think small business is now being reclassified up to £10 million. I think that's the limit now. It was about 6 million, but it has increased. So if I think that's your question. If I've got that wrong and I've read that wrongly, let me know, Melissa, and I will answer in the comment. I will answer as well. You are welcome, Ella. That's no problem at all. Let's see if we've got any other questions coming through here. Okay, good. I think we are good on that. So now we've got what we need to sell. We've got our methods of selling. We've got when we're going to be doing it. We need to understand if there are associated costs to selling as well. So are you doing advertising spend, for example? Are you using affiliates, for example? What are those costs are associated with selling for you and your business? Are you paying commissions to a salesperson? What are those associated costs? Because you need to be factoring them into your profit plan as well. So you would need to be layering them in too. So once you've kind of pulled together all those bits, then we do need to also ask ourselves, in order for this plan to come into reality, what actions need to be taken to get these revenue streams working at this level of revenue? You know, what things do you need to get in the diary and be planning out? Do you need advertising, different messaging campaigns, uploading blog posts, doing live streams, graphic scheduling? What are those things that are actually going to impact the revenue in your business? And it might be trial and error. It might be that you do some stuff and it has zero impact at all, but remember, consistency is key for that too. So don't just try things once and it doesn't work. You may need to be consistent with doing things in order to see if they work. But what actions do you need to take? And then making sure that those actions are actually put in your diary to do. Because there's no point in writing out an action list and then never ever setting aside the time to actually do it. So we need to make sure that those actions are in the diary so that you can impact the revenue, you can impact the profit, and you can move your business forward that way. So now we've got these bits of the puzzle mapped out in our workbooks, we can start adding them to our profit plan sheet as well. So we can start adding in that top section, the revenue section. Excuse me, I'm just going to take a drink of water. And what I recommend for that is that you have it by revenue stream. So you can see in the screenshot that I have included in page 30 of the workbook, I've got 2 different programs there. You might have services or different types of client or something like that, but you want to start mapping out month on month, what does that revenue look like for you based on when you're doing promos, based on when you're doing launches, based on when you're doing marketing campaigns. Put that in, because there will be a link between the two. So get them in the appropriate months as well. And then the costs of selling, make sure you're including those. So make sure, if you're going to take on a salesperson, you need to include their rep salary, you need to include their commissions. If you're going to be running ads, you need the ad spend, and you may also have an ad agency that you need to include there. So making sure that those costs are in. And also at this point, I want you to review the team section based on the team stuff that we spoke about today as well. So is there anything that needs to change there? Is there any team member you've decided to exit, or team members that you've decided that you'll bring on as a result of us thinking about the team and as a result of us thinking about what your revenue plan mapped out looks like? So that is the next stage for you, is to get that layered into your profit plan, to understand what that revenue plan is going to look like, and then also make sure that the actions are going to be put in your diary, that you're going to understand what those actions are, those things that you're going to try and perhaps fail at, but at least try to see what they do to the revenue in your business. So in the homework thread for today, I am asking the question, What are your top 3 actions that you are going to take to get your revenue streams working for you? So I would love to know, what are your top 3 actions that you're going to take to get your revenue streams working for you? Because it's so important that we actually do the actions that are needed in order to deliver on the revenue part of our profit plan. Now, it might be that you decide that you don't want to grow the business and you want to hold the revenue flat. That is okay as well, but there still will be actions that you need to take in order to ensure that happens, because you will naturally have what is called churn in your business, which means that people will drop off from paying you regular retainers or monthly amounts or those kinds of things. So even if you do not want to grow revenue, you want to hold it flat for the year, you still will need to probably take on new customers or clients in order to do that. So you still need actions that you're going to take to ensure the revenue streams work for you. And you're also going to need actions around retention as well at the same time. So this is not just something for people who are looking to actively grow their revenue. If you're looking to hold your revenue flat, this is also highly relevant as well. So that's something important to remember too. So let's have a look. Justina saying, would commission be in the team or the expenditure section? Typically, Justine, I would put commission in the team section. I would usually put it there. Good question. Good question. Would you do commission as a salary when it's only commission based? Oh, okay, I see your question. What I would actually do for that is I would do it, I would do a formula. So I would say, okay, you know, sales are X and commission is say 10% of sales. So I would do a formula within the sheet that says 10% of the sales is what the commission is going to be. And if you do pay out commissions, I would assume, unless you know otherwise, that all your sales will be commissionable. And that gives you the kind of worst case scenario, as it were, when it comes to commission payments. So I would put it as a separate line in team. I wouldn't deduct it from the revenue itself. I would put it a separate line in team, and I would do a formula to calculate that. Another thing that I didn't mention, actually, that you do need to make sure that you have in your profit plan is, when it comes to associated costs of selling, is any Stripe, PayPal fees, those kinds of things. Again, you can do that as a formula against revenue. If you do not understand Excel or Google Sheets formulas, we do actually have in the appendix to the workbook some help with that and some tips on how that might work. Let's see. Revenue streams. Is there a limit on how many to have? Melissa, there's not a limit, but I would not recommend having introducing a second one until your first is at about £250,000 a year. So once your first gets to 250, then you can introduce a second, and when your second gets to 250, you can introduce a third, and when your third gets to 250, you can introduce, etc. But there's no limit then, because each of the revenue streams should be working for themselves, and each of them should be able to then, kind of take on a life of their own. But I would not recommend that you have, one revenue stream that does 10K a year, and another revenue stream that does 50, and another one that does 72, and another one that does 35, and another, etc. Because that usually creates too much confusion. It creates the business owner of a small business being spread way too thin, and it usually does not do the business any good. It usually actually reduces the ability of the business to generate higher revenues. And I've seen that time and time again. So that's what I would recommend with that. I've been asked what my wholesale costs are and minimum orders. Is there a percentage you would usually use for wholesale? Yes, what I will do is I will cover that off on our Q&A session, because that's a bigger conversation than just now. And so what I'll do is I'll cover that off separately for you as well. Ila's saying, can I provide a template? Yeah, I can provide a template for you if you would like for the profit plan. So what I'll do is I'll give that to the team, connect with the team, and they'll be able to send you out a link for that. So I will do that, and I will get you that template. If you want a Google Docs template, then I can absolutely provide that for you. You will just need to copy the template, and then you can use it from there. So yeah, I can absolutely do that. Great. Lovely. So I think I've got all the questions. So of course we are back again tomorrow, 1:30 p.m. And tomorrow's topic is bringing home the money. So I'm looking forward to sharing that with you. Make sure you have that time in your diary. Make sure you have the bonus sessions in your diary as well for Saturday, Sunday, Monday, and Tuesday as well. Same time, same place. They are happening too. So I am excited to be hosting those for you as well. I hope that you have a wonderful, wonderful rest of your day. Make sure that if you do need anything, you connect with your concierge in the DMs. They will be there to help and support you. If you have any questions, please do make sure you ask them. That is exactly what they are there for. They are to help and support you through this journey of building your profit plan. So thank you everyone for tuning in. Thank you for joining me today. I know your time is precious and I appreciate you spending some of it with me. When do you mean for the Q&A? I'm going to be doing a Q&A session as one of our bonus sessions. So I'll cover that off then as well. You are more than welcome, Ella. You are more than welcome. I'm glad that you're enjoying it. I'm glad that you are getting value from the content. I very much appreciate that. So thank you once again, everyone. Take care. Have a wonderful, wonderful rest of your day. All the best.